A fierce winter storm swallowed the mountain road, erasing direction and hope alike. Snow fell in thick curtains, burying the asphalt beneath a frozen blanket. In the heart of that storm walked an elderly woman, her steps uneven, her breath shallow. One trembling hand clutched a worn brown suitcase with a torn corner, the other pressed against her coat as if holding herself together. She had no destination left, only forward. Several miles away, a pickup truck cut through the darkness. Behind the wheel sat Logan Hayes, a former Navy SEAL who had grown comfortable with silence. At 38, his body still carried the strength of service, though his eyes held the quiet weight of memories he never spoke aloud. He drove without music, letting the hum of the engine and the scrape of the wipers fill the space where thoughts liked to wander. Beside him sat Ranger, a 6-year-old German shepherd with alert amber eyes and a scar on his hind leg, another survivor of a life once lived in war zones far from snow. Logan had found Ranger years after leaving the service, abandoned and half-starved. Since then they had been inseparable, two soldiers still standing guard. The headlights barely reached 10 feet ahead when Ranger suddenly stiffened. His ears shot forward, a low sound rumbling in his chest. "What is it, boy?" Logan muttered, leaning closer to the windshield. At first there was only white. Then movement. A figure. Logan slowed the truck as the shape sharpened into a woman struggling against the wind. Her coat whipped violently, white hair escaping her scarf. She stumbled, nearly collapsing. Instinct and caution clashed inside Logan. Old training warned him not to stop. The storm screamed louder and the woman faltered again. Ranger whined, soft, insistent. Logan exhaled sharply. "You win." He pulled onto the shoulder, tires crunching over ice. Rolling down the window, freezing air sliced across his face. "Ma'am," he called. "You can't be out here." The woman turned slowly. Her eyes were pale blue, dulled by exhaustion. She tried to speak but the wind stole her words. Logan stepped out, boots sinking deep into snow. Up close he could see her age, early 60s maybe, her posture proud despite the cold shaking her bones. "I'm fine," she said hoarsely. "I just need to keep moving." "You won't last another mile," Logan replied calmly. She attempted a smile. "Then I'll walk faster." Something in her stubbornness struck him. He took the suitcase gently from her hand, it was far too light. "I'm Logan," he said. "And you're getting in the truck." She hesitated, distrust battling survival. Finally she nodded. "Margaret," she said softly. As she climbed into the warmth beside Ranger, neither of them knew this single choice had just changed everything. The roadside diner glowed like a beacon against the storm. Logan parked close, helping Margaret inside as Ranger followed protectively. The air smelled of coffee and hot food, comfort wrapped in warmth. A waitress named Nancy poured steaming mugs without questions. Margaret's hands trembled as she warmed them around the cup, color slowly returning to her face. "I don't have money," Margaret said quietly. Logan shook his head. "That's not a problem." Over plates of chicken and potatoes, Margaret finally spoke. She told him about being evicted, about a brother who disappeared with their last savings, about a lifetime spent surviving rather than living. Logan listened without interrupting. He understood silence better than sympathy. When the storm worsened and the roads closed, Logan made another decision. "My family's cabin isn't far," he said. "You'll stay there until the storm passes." Margaret protested weakly, but exhaustion won. The cabin stood silent among the trees, weathered but solid. Inside, the cold clung to everything. Logan lit a fire as Margaret stacked wood with practiced care. Then Ranger growled. "Footprints. Someone had been there recently." Before fear could settle, movement came from outside. A man emerged from the shed, thin, exhausted, hands raised. "Just shelter," he pleaded. "Name's Caleb." Margaret stepped forward first. "No one should be outside tonight." Against his instincts, Logan let the man in. 3 strangers sat by the fire that night. A soldier, a widow, and a drifter, each carrying ghosts they never named. Ranger lay between them, calm and watchful. For the first time in years the cabin felt alive. Morning revealed a world washed clean by snow. Sunlight spilled through frost-covered windows as Margaret cooked quietly and Caleb repaired broken hinges with skilled hands. Logan watched it all with disbelief. The cabin, once frozen in memory, was breathing again. In the workshop, old tools waited patiently. Caleb's hands remembered their purpose. Logan learned beside him, sanding wood, restoring furniture his father once built. They spoke of loss, of war, of love, of walking away when staying hurt too much. When a cracked rocking chair was restored, Logan sat in it, feeling something ease inside his chest. "It feels right," he admitted. Later that week, trouble arrived. Margaret's brother Thomas stormed in, accusing Logan of manipulation. The smell of alcohol followed him like a shadow. When deputies arrived, Ranger uncovered hidden bottles and pills in Thomas's car. Margaret stood firm as her brother was taken away, not with anger but resolve. "I can't save him," she whispered. "He needs help." That night, snow fell gently again. Inside, the fire burned steady. None of them felt alone anymore. Spring came slowly to Hawthorne Ridge. Snow melted, birds returned, and the workshop reopened with a hand-painted sign, Hawthorne Ridge Woodworks. Caleb found purpose again. Margaret managed orders and filled the cabin with warmth. Logan stayed. Neighbors came. Word spread. Furniture was built with care and patience, by hands that had once only known survival. Ranger aged gracefully, still alert, still loyal. One evening, as sunlight dipped behind the trees, Logan realized something profound. He wasn't running anymore. He had found a home, not in walls or wood, but in shared silence, earned trust, and second chances. Sometimes storms don't destroy. Sometimes they bring people exactly where they need to be.